It's amazing to me that there was a time when no-effort movies could get theatrical releases, or at least drive-in theater releases, as long as you had a few good-looking people willing to bear it all, or bear it most, and you had something close to a plot. Drive-ins would show your movie. Let's see if this one was good enough to distract the people in the front seat from what was happening in the back seat. Welcome to Exploitation Reviews, and me, Rob, and today I'm taking a look at Hollywood High from 1976. This is a relatively unknown teen sex comedy. Upon release, it was panned by the critics, and since then it hasn't really attracted much of a cult following, so let's see why. We open on some bouncy girls leaving school. They hop in their car and cruise through the credits. This cop sees them having a good time and pulls away from this tree. And then I guess he chases them around the block because he then pulls them over next to the same tree. The magic of cinema. That cop, by the way, is played by an uncredited Patrick Wright. He was in a number of exploitation films in the 70s. In fact, he's been on this channel twice. We saw him in Good Morning and Goodbye and in the Cheerleaders. Anyway, the girls don't take being pulled over too seriously, and that's fine. This isn't a serious movie. This is a fun movie.
This is fun!
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said. The girls go to the beach and complain that none of them have a comfortable private place to be horizontal with their boyfriends. Oh man, I remember those days. Tall guy in a tiny Toyota. Ugh, I still have a sore back. And the movie comes close to establishing a plot here. Finding a comfortable place to be horizontal. But instead of developing this idea at all, the girls go and play in the water. Because this isn't a serious movie.
This is fun!
So some weirdo asks the girls if they want to hang out, and they're amicable, despite the fact they're supposed to be there to meet their boyfriends. But the weirdos got beer and bud, so we can't really blame them too much. Except that beer looks a lot like water. Oh, wait, sorry, my mistake, it's just Coors. And after slamming a few, the girls go back into the water. This movie just is not interested in plot. The boyfriends do eventually show up and they chase this weirdo off. And then one of the boyfriends enjoys an apple while the other one enjoys some melons. Oh yeah. Okay, and then there's this extended makeout session that involves all kinds of exposed things that I can't show you here, so let's just go on. The girls need some gas, so they stop off at a gas station, and there they meet a local celebrity, Miss East, who sounds a lot like Mae West.
Why don't you come down and see me sometime,
And don't forget, come up and see me sometime.
Miss East doesn't have any money to pay for her car's repairs, but the girls help her out by getting sinful with the dwarf. And then Miss East gives them her card, and I would like to say this will be important later, but nothing in this movie is important. So let's go on. The gang goes to a pizza place, and a guy pulls up on his bike.
Hey.
Did you hear that?
Hey. This is fun!
Yeah, it has its moments. And then there's a food fight, but I have never found those to be at all fun. It's kind of weird. Food fights show up in a number of 70s and early 80s teen movies, and I have no idea why. Were food fights really a thing back then? I mean, I was a teen in the 90s, and they definitely weren't a thing then. The good news, though, is that they get all dirty and decide to get cleaned up by going skinny dipping, and that trend, I can tell you, did survive into the 90s. And then they all pile naked into the van, but it's too dark to see what's going on.
No fair.
Yeah, it sucks. And as all of this stuff we can't see is going on, they complain that there's not enough room for their activities. But again, none of the characters turn this problem into a plot. They could have, but they don't. It's almost like this movie is trying not to have a narrative structure. And the sad thing is, finding a place for horizontal activities is not a bad idea for a teen sex comedy. They could have gone like a whole Goldilocks kind of route. This place is too sandy, this place is too cramped, this place has too many dwarves. But no, they don't do any of that. Unfortunately, this movie isn't written in a way that takes advantage of this idea. This movie is barely written at all, and so that's enough out of me as far as plot goes. Let's talk some highlights. Highlights. Well, the girls are all cute, and Monica in particular has a lot of surface area for tan lines. That's pretty nice. Yeah, it really is just like the perfect amount of surface area. But the movie itself isn't perfect. Like a sinful dwarf getting his oil changed, this film has some shortcomings. Yeah, this movie is terrible. The jokes are awful. There's no plot to speak of. The characters are annoying. This movie sucks. How in the world did it ever make $1 million at the box office? I guess people were really desperate for entertainment back in the 70s. Yeah, the girls look great, and it did make me chuckle like maybe twice, but honestly, the only thing that kept me watching this was the hope that Monica would get tired of wearing her top, and luckily that does happen a number of times.